A bold wine with a hint of sophistication and lacking in pretension.
Not to mention Puerto Rico, but you never bring two snakes to the same location.
The gauntlets have been thrown.
Hashtag prune the Groot.
And vote for Bill McKenna, he won't nap on the issues.
And for real, so hello, and on today's show, the doctor's in.
It's alive!
Cover your eyes, kids, the Joker's coming.
And Brett finally gets a winning team in DC.
This is episode 19 of the Geek 30 Happy Hour. Another episode of the Geek 30 Happy Hour, where we drink a toast to all the geeky things we're passionate about. Today's April 17th, 2016. My name is Alex, and here's Jojo.
Hello! Not to mention Puerto Rico, but...
yeah, they're gonna eat that up, I think, over there at the NAP podcast.
Brett said the first words out of his mouth were, not to mention Puerto Rico, but if you actually listen to the podcast, there's 10 words he says before he makes a reference. So we started with the reference.
We win!
We win! We sorry, he's not sorry.
Yeah. So that's a reference to our friends over at Not Another Podcast with a question mark.
Aren't we doing a show with them here soon?
We will be. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for details.
Yeah, that should be the next episode that comes out.
It'll be the location that you don't bring two snakes to.
Yes, yeah, don't do that. So, wanted to bring back a familiar face to the show.
How familiar?
Pretty familiar, in like a few episodes back. Ori.
Hello.
There's Ori. Ori's with Dragon Fruit, our friends who own the Geek dating site that we talked about. I would really recommend that you guys cycle back through our episodes and take a listen. Ori had a lot of great content. He contributed a lot. We talked about Pokemon and other geeky stuff.
Great geek guy. And I would say I have been using the dating sites.
There it is.
For, quote unquote market research.
You like that, Ori? He's using it for market research.
And then I got some messages and then things kind of changed. And so the idea of it is brilliant and how it's executed is wonderful. So I really appreciate the site.
You're so sweet.
I'm being honest.
So, Ori, how have you been since we last spoke? You've been a busy man.
Yeah, well, since we last spoke, we finally managed to get the app out, available now for free on Android and iOS, and God, was that that took some doing. But it's out now, and everything's great, and you can download it and try it out, and I hope you do.
We will definitely enjoy all your hard work on that one.
That is so awesome. And where can people download this? They can download the Geek dating site, or the Geek Dating app on iTunes, Android, right? Like all the things?
That's right. Android and iTunes.
And where can they provide feedback and thoughts on the app and such?
So you are free to tweet at us at Proj Dragonfruit, Proj Dragonfruit. It's short for project because there weren't enough characters available for project. You can send us a message on Facebook at Project Dragonfruit. You can email me, Ori at Project Dragonfruit, or support at Project projectdragonfruit.com if you have problems that you are trying to solve, and we try to get back to you as soon as is humanly possible, because that's all we really do. That's life now.
That's good. They're in such a growth mode, and it's a really exciting app, and we wanted to bring Ori. Ori reached out to me like earlier this week and was like, "We're live," and I was like, "Oh my God, we got to have you back on the show to talk about that." It's so exciting. So always it's fun talking nerd stuff with him anyway, so it's a good excuse to have him back. So welcome back to the show, Ori.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's good to have you. And a reminder to our audience, like us on Facebook, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, help us share the message that is this show. We love the sort of reaction and support we've been getting from everybody so far. Let's keep that up.
Definitely. And give Ori a 5-star rating, because this is an awesome app.
Heck yeah. Let's do that.
So what I like to say is that the only thing between like really great technology when it comes to a dating app and a really great dating app is the community and the number of people there. So if you give us a 5-star review, not only are you helping me, totally selfish here, but it also helps all the other users, because the more attention we get, the more people who are on it, the better the experience, the more likely you are to meet somebody because you left a review, because they saw that and then downloaded it, etc.
Exactly. And ladies, Jojo's on there.
Yes,
all right.
Jojo is on there. I actually have the app.
Jojo's on there, ladies.
I was showing it to Alex earlier. It's like, look how wonderful this works. And he's like, okay, hit like, wait, whoa.
I started liking a lot of ladies.
Calm down there. I'm not handing my phone over to Alex anymore.
Now we can run a whole like little game show thing where you try to find Jojo by like messing with the searcher. Figure out the right search string.
It's going to be a new like dating show just dedicated to
Find Jojo! Exclamation point.
I love it.
I'm on ABC.
Well, guys, we got an action-filled, action-packed show for us, talking about a lot of good comic book stuff. And speaking of comic books, actually, we just left
Heroic Aleworks.
Yeah, Heroic Aleworks. Spent a good afternoon with those guys.
Brilliant bunch of people.
Yeah, awesome folks. Keep an eye out for this, especially if you're local here in the DC area. They're coming out with some really brilliant brews, and they all are themed with a comic book character, their own comic book characters that they're coming out with, and that they're developing backstories and their own comics to supplement the marketing efforts.
This whole holistic approach is amazing to me. It's not just the beer, but the content that goes with it. And then you've got not just the beer that you have enjoyed, but you have a comic book that you can now read and read for future generations and whatnot.
As you're sipping the beer that it's dedicated to.
Exactly.
That's
and
awesome.
all three that we had were all amazing. I'm not even an IPA guy, and I love their IPA.
All this stuff, guys, that we're telling you, we're not paid to say any of this. This is stuff that we're just passionate about, and we're like...
we got no money out of this. We spent money today.
Yeah, oh, totally. So, shout out to Tim, John, and Kate over there, and the rest of the crew that we met. Can't wait to be doing more stuff with you guys. We actually have some of their beer, which we're going to feature on another episode. But for now, we have a beer that was recommended by a listener. Let's get into what we're drinking today.
Sounds good.
Oh, hello, Geek 30. It's beer time.
Today's beer is brought to you by Alex's left ankle, because you don't drink the day before a 10K.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Why?
That's what happened today.
Why?
So last night, shout out to Justin, my coworker Justin. Me and a whole bunch of him and his friends, we all went out to Top Golf. If you've ever been to Top Golf here in the DC area, you're familiar with what that is. Basically, think golf mixed with darts or bowling.
And LEDs and computers.
Yeah, lots of fanciness. It's absolutely awesome. It's a lot of fun. And buckets of beer are involved. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. and ran a 10K. I am
dehydrated,
exhausted and dehydrated. While I was running, I screwed up my foot because I was wearing some like the shoe insert things that like
he was wearing boat shoes. You don't run in boat shoes.
No, I wasn't running in boat shoes. I was wearing boat shoes later this afternoon.
Yeah. And he was running in boat shoes. He forgot to take them off.
No, I wore sneakers earlier today, and they had the little like things in there because I have flat feet. Because just screw you, Alex. You have flat feet, and I ended up screwing up my left foot because I was running on it over 6 miles. I got done with it, and I actually ran it with Jamie, who helps produce our podcast. And I got done, and I looked at him. I was like, dude, my foot kind of hurts, and so I ended up leaving. I got out of my car. When I got home, I stepped out of my car and almost collapsed because I couldn't put any weight on my foot. I was like, oh boy, this sucks. So now I'm walking around with a limp all day.
Can you get some crutches, maybe an ankle brace?
Yeah, something. I'm going to be hurting for a little bit. So
hey, at least we got some beer.
So we're drinking some beer to forget about the pain.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And what we're drinking tonight is actually suggested by Kevin.
Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. I actually met Kevin. Kevin is my coworker's husband, who listens to the show, and recommended this beer because he said is his favorite beer of all time.
Oh wow.
St. Bernardus Abt 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, according to their website, the St. Bernardus Abt 12 is the pride of our stable. What is this? Nec Plus Ultra of our brewery. I don't know what the NEC? I don't know what that means. Abbey Ale brewed in the classic quadruple style of Belgium best Abbey ales, dark with a full ivory colored head. It is ivory head. All right, anyway. It has a fruity aroma, full of complex flavors, and excels because of its long bittersweet finish with a hoppy bite. And it's 10% ABV, by the way. Worldwide seen as one of the best beers in the world. It's a very balanced beer with a full body taste and a perfect equilibrium between malty, bitter, and sweet. One of the original recipes from the days of licensed brewing for the Trappist monks of West Vederen?
Vleteren?
I don't know.
Vleteren.
I don't know. All I know is that it's good. We tried this a little bit before the show.
Definitely.
I really like this.
Cheers.
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 That's tasty. It really is. It's a perfect mix,
Right.
of sweet, bitter, and it's very sweet at first, and then
Right.
all of a sudden it's just bitter at the end.
See, I don't really get the bitter as much. Maybe I'm not as
Really?
prone to the bitters.
Drinking
I'm definitely
again.
getting the sweet. I'm definitely getting the malty. Definitely getting the full body. It's okay.
Yeah.
But there's, at first, it's very deceptive. It's very easy, mellow, smooth to drink, and then you taste the alcohol.
Oh yeah. Ori, how about that alcohol?
It's it's something.
So this is one of the.
Or he's not drunk, I promise. Not yet.
This
Give him
is
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
This tastes like you just had like some whiskey or something at the very, or
Right.
vodka or something
So-
right at the end of it.
The initial taste is beer. It finishes like a shot.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's actually really delicious.
Right.
Kevin told me last night, he was like, this is my favorite. This is my number one beer in the world. I fully respect that.
It's a very good beer, definitely.
Yep. So we actually got this at Total Wine and More. Total Wine and More.
Yeah. It's no longer Total Beverage. It was
Yes.
Total Beverage for all of 2 weeks. Then we went back to Total Wine.
Right. So you guys would probably find it at your specialty liquor / beer / wine store. We actually got a big bottle of it, a 1 pint.
I want to say it's 22 ounces. That's a pretty big bottle. 1 pint, 9.4 ounces.
Yep. So you could probably find it there, but it's great. I
Right.
definitely recommend it. This
Definitely.
is something I would drink again.
Me too.
I would
definitely.
probably sit in with like a movie or something.
But I would have like one.
Yes.
If I had two, I probably wouldn't be able to go to work
Guys,
tomorrow.
Yeah, let's take it easy.
Take that AC.
If I may, I want to share with you guys a review that I found of this online.
Definitely.
Please.
I'm not going to read you the whole thing because it's pretty long, but when they say on the website that it's, complex flavors,
Right.
I'm just going to read you a list here that I found, which
boy.
is hilarious. Dark fruit, plum, fig, raisin, red grape, peach, nectarine, candied malt, caramel, butterscotch candy, vanilla clove, nutmeg grains, baked bread crust,
Whoa.
grape must, straw, banana, and hops. That is a lot of stuff to taste in one go.
It
Are they
is.
drinking beer?
So I just thought, I was just like, wow.
No, I appreciate that list, but holy monkey.
bread.
Baked
the
bread
bread? Red
crust,
grape?
not just bread. If it was bread, it would be a
You're
totally
right. No, sorry. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Okay, all right, you're right. Bread crust. Sorry.
Very specific in that matter.
Actually, the clove, when you said clove, I was trying to pinpoint what that was. It's clove. That's
Definitely clove.
exactly what I'm tasting.
I don't know if I taste red grape, though.
You gotta
Or
have a little
raisin.
more, you
I
have
can
to have a
pretend.
better palate, okay, Jojo? Get with it, okay?
I have a good palate.
Okay?
Pretty good palate.
While Jojo sucks with drinking beer, why don't we get
I'm
into
very good at drinking beer.
why don't we get into the news?
Geek 30 News!
We got our Doctor Strange trailer thing.
It just it popped up out of nowhere. We weren't actually planning to talk
It's
about
cool.
this, and it's just oh, here it is now.
Yeah, I saw something popping up on social media, something or other, and then there it was.
Right.
It was there. So this is actually really exciting because this is a very key player in the Infinity War series. Jojo, what do you know about Doctor Strange?
I don't know much about him.
Okay.
I haven't done too much research. He's never been in a lot of the comics that I've read, except for like in Passage.
It's a very niche character. Ori,
Right,
how about
exactly.
you? Do you know much about Doctor Strange?
Not a huge amount, just what I'm picking up from, commentary on the trailer mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's a magic user. He's the role that he plays in the Infinity War series, and I'm actually reading through all the comics right now. Thank you again. Shout out to Omar for letting me borrow all the comics one at a time here. I'm on book 5 of 6.
Nice.
And he plays actually a really pivotal role where he helps kind of bridge the gap between the forces almost of like a godlike state with the not human, but with the warriors of Earth.
Okay.
And the Avengers and such to come together to defeat Thanos, who has collected all the stones for the Infinity Gauntlet, and he teams up with a guy named Adam Warlock, and because they're both kind of mystical beings, but he plays a very pivotal role in this.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited to see his origin story kind of come to life. His whole origin story is around where he was a surgeon, a very well-known surgeon who was very cocky because he was the best at what he did. And he ends up in an accident and he tears up his hands, which were he had these magical hands,
Right.
that would perform life-saving surgeries. And then his hands were useless. He ends up going to the far east and speaks to somebody who actually gives him almost mystical powers, and so he uses that to help people.
Right.
Like he was helping people as a surgeon. He can't do that anymore. He almost finds power to do so from a magical point of view. And Ori, did you get a chance to view the trailer?
I did, yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
Oh, I had a lot of thoughts on it.
That's good. That is good.
Let's see. My first impression was that there were a lot of references, unintentional or intentional as it may be, to the Matrix. It felt kind of Matrixy.
Yep.
Not to mention that Benedict Cumberbatch with a beard looks very much like Keanu Reeves with a beard.
Oh my God, you're right.
I had not made that association, but you're true.
Oh my God.
I don't know if they were going for that, but that's what I was feeling. I also got a lot of feeling that they probably have drawn quite a lot of inspiration from some of the Christopher Nolan movies, and most particularly Inception, with that moment that we see the folding city thing with Doctor Strange, falling between them. It had a very Inception feel to it, which I'm excited for because I loved Inception and I thought that the visual effects in that were phenomenal. So, more please. That works out.
Which I feel like it actually fits this character very well.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, Jojo, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was awesome. I make the joke because the Imitation Game, as well as Star Trek, was it Onto Darkness or whatever?
Oh, Star Trek Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
There you go.
All 3 of the posters.
Sorry, Trekkies.
Sorry, Trekkies.
Sorry.
Well,
Sorry.
We're a Star Wars centric podcast, so I mean we appreciate Trekkies.
Stacy's gonna yell at you.
I know.
Remember our Stacy, our Star Trek listener?
Right. It won't be the first time, and it won't be the last time.
Right. Sorry, Stacy.
But each of these posters have Benedict Cumberbatch back facing the camera, so I just thought it was hilarious how they have that kind of reoccurring theme that's always Benedict Cumberbatch's back that shows up on a poster.
Which is weird because it isn't the back that always excites people.
Exactly.
You know?
Maybe there's just too much Cumberbatch to have him facing full on.
Now, I want to ask all the ladies out there, is there ever too much Cumberbatch? Is there? Let us know. Geek30podcast@gmail.com.
I mean, as a dude, I would say no.
He's a good-looking dude.
I mean, there's not too much Oscar Isaac, so.
I mean, but looking at Benedict Cumberbatch, he looks great in this movie.
Right, exactly.
He looks just like him.
Well, he has one of those kind of Gary Oldman or I'm going to blank right for different actors where he blends into the role that he plays.
Oh, totally.
It's not like a George Clooney where it's a George Clooney everywhere he goes, or The Rock where he's rocked through everywhere he goes. He is Benedict Cumberbatch. He is an actor, and when he goes on screen, he's no longer Benedict. He's whatever character he is.
Yeah, he was pretty. I mean, he's always been good in every freaking movie I've ever seen him in.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, you could hardly even tell that it was him in The Hobbit. That was impressive.
Exactly.
Wait, when was he?
That was a joke. He was the dragon.
Yes, that's right.
You're not supposed to. That didn't work very well for me.
I know. No. I caught that reference. Damn it.
I got it. Thank you, Ori, for that. I got it. I had to explain it to Alex.
Oh man, we gotta.
Really?
I gotta. No. I gotta actually sit down and watch the second movie again because Deanna. So okay, Deanna and I are sitting down and watching all of the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Rings because she's never seen any of them.
Oh wow!
I know. Okay, guys, I know
the movification.
I know they're so good, and Deanna agreed to watch this. Deanna, you'll still watch the other movies, right?
Well, I mean, you just kind of spoiled it with Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's not spoiled, right? She says it's not spoiled. It'll be all right.
She might be staring at you right now. She said one thing, but her looks are differently,
yeah, so we're gonna watch that whole series again, but when you watch that, like, it doesn't sound like him though.
No,
as the dragon, I knew it was him. But
they digitally enhanced his voice to be lower because
but I mean, it's also his performance. So it's like
the performance is amazing,
great.
Yeah.
If you like his. If you like just listening to his voice, which a lot of people do, because I mean it's a hell of a voice.
Exactly.
He did a really great job on the BBC radio play adaptation of Neverwhere, the Neil Gaiman novel Neverwhere.
Really?
It was a radio play. He played the Angel Islington, and it was. Oh, magnificent. Such a good performance and a really good, I mean, people who are listening who are into podcasts, if you're into Welcome to Night Vale and stuff like that, really quality show to listen to. It's got, it's got, what's his name? James McAvoy as the lead. It has Bernard Cribbins. It has, it's an all-star cast. And Benedict Cumberbatch plays the angel, and it is so good.
That is so good to
hear.
Can
I just hire Benedict Cumberbatch to read me a story at night?
If you have the money, I'm sure you can pay him to do whatever you like.
Bring in this Geek 30 money, which is nothing.
Maybe next week, right?
Yeah.
I will maybe mention something that was interesting about this. Benedict Cumberbatch as an American.
Oh, yes. So can we talk about his accent for a second?
Definitely.
It was pretty awesome.
Right.
I heard him talking, and I didn't recognize it was him until I kind of put it in context. Ori, what was your thoughts on that?
Long history of Brits playing convincing Americans.
hey, better than there's I don't know, Americans, the other way around, it doesn't really work.
No, exactly.
The other way it doesn't.
Well, because wasn't Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, Garfield, Garfield also English or British? I can't remember.
He's British.
And he played an American.
He played an American. He's got a great American accent.
And I can't
remember. Laurie and House.
Yep.
Right.
Yes. Lincoln in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else?
I'm trying to remember. Did Benedict Cumberbatch? He was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but I can't remember if he had
Try it one more time. What was it?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
There it is.
That movie.
Yeah.
With Gary Oldman.
Yep.
I can't remember if he had an American accent or not in that movie.
I didn't see it. Okay. I did see
the
Third Estate where he's playing Julian Assange, so that's a whole different accent.
Okay.
No. This is his. I think this is his first time doing an American accent.
Okay.
Yeah, man, Americans suck.
Well, we don't really have an accent, and it's funny because when
British we do because Ori, do we have an accent?
No,
we don't.
No, Americans don't have accents.
We don't have any kind of
not really.
Even
I mean, there are weird regional differences, obviously, but because most media originates in the States, it's what everybody grows up to think is kind of the standard, and any deviation from that is an accent. Whereas, if you're just listening to some TV show or movie or whatever, that's the normal. That's the baseline.
Well, I mean, things like if you're a singer, aside from the occasional like Leona Lewis is like kind of like the exception to the rule, but most singers, no matter where they're from, when they sing, sound American. When they sing, their accent goes away.
There is a reason for that.
Yeah,
the vowel sounds and the rounded R's and stuff like that. I mean, there's a whole load of theory here that I'm not going to get into, but American tends to be more understandable when sung, unless people make a very heavy effort to enunciate really, really clearly. American is just more understandable. It's a practicality thing.
America.
Yeah.
Hail Overlord Trump. All right.
Hey.
Donald Trump again.
This trailer was actually I absolutely loved it though. I think Ori hit it spot on where he was talking about the references to the Matrix and Inception. Yes.
Yeah.
God, what was I thinking? Okay, so
Insidious.
Yeah, maybe. I immediately left especially when Tilda, what's her name? Tilda, what's her name? Tilda Swinton. Swinton. Tilda. You know, I mean, Tilda. We're on a first name basis. So Tilda, when she like punched him in the chest, and I immediately was like, oh my god, it's the Matrix.
Right.
That's immediately what came to mind. And Ori's reference to him falling in between the cities, I was like, God, that's like Inception. It's beautiful cinematography, great effects. I love what I see so far, and the way that they're almost capturing. You know, the big thing to take away here, guys, is Doctor Strange is a magic user, but it's done in a way that's almost comprehensible and it's not really in a way that seems overtly magical.
Right.
It almost seems like you're on an acid trip the whole time.
Well, that's
not that I've ever been on an acid trip
with Heroic Elworks today, which was fantastic.
Yes, yeah, actually awesome. It was, yeah.
And they're thinking, yes, it might be perceived as magic to others, but it might not actually be magic. It just might be the use of regular, everyday human things. It's more of sleight of hand is what the person sees as opposed to what's actually being happening is a different story.
Yeah. So part of actually there was a great video that was on Nerdist.com that I'll reference in the show notes that gives a breakdown of the whole trailer, and something that they're talking about is that they may be referencing back to the quantum realm, like what Ant-Man did in the Ant-Man movie. This is actually a really cool idea, and it may help explain a lot of the quote unquote magical properties that you see in this Doctor Strange movie. So I'm actually really interested to see how they may tie this in with some of what we've already seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and make it more sciencey rather than magical.
Right.
And honestly,
I feel like this is going to be like a day one movie for me. Like when it opens in theaters, I'm going to be there day one.
I would totally see this day one. Totally. And I would love to hear from the audience. Geek30podcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you guys think about the trailer and what you guys would think about this being less magical and rather more practical and also more sciencey than magical.
Because they have to fit it in within the rest of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to make sure everything kind of flows through all the movies.
And it does seem like this iteration is hitting the sort of scientific explanations for everything pretty hard. I mean, even with the less credible stuff, they're always trying to say, "Oh, it's not magic; it's some kind of science." It's kind of like the Arthur C. Clarke third law that any science sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. So what might look magical is actually scientific. And I am wondering, because Doctor Strange seems one of those characters who is way more on the magic and supernatural side of things, traditionally, I guess, in the comics and in the history of it all. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage to tie that in without crossing the line into straight up magic.
I feel like they might have to bring in one of the Infinity Stones in order to play that. Not necessarily magical per se, but it's being given a power from a different source.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought too. I mean, we won't know. This was obviously a teaser,
right?
So until we actually see like a true full blown trailer, that gives a little more insight into the story.
Was that a
Who knows?
teaser?
That's what they actually classified it as.
It was 2 minutes long. How?
I know. Well, hey, you saw what the Star Wars quote unquote teaser was, which was freaking John Boyega, standing up in the middle of the desert, freaking out.
Well, I mean, they got 4 months to explain a lot of stuff, so
it's true. It's true.
And also a movie afterwards that's coming out. So
right.
Well,
another joke that clearly didn't work.
what's that went right over my head? Someone hit the wall right behind me. That was weird. I don't know.
And not to bring up Puerto Rico, but tilde is what you find above an N in the Spanish language.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, dude. You guys have the wrong flag, by the way.
No, we had the right flag.
No, Cuba's
your
right.
Your flag's what happens when you inverse colors.
No, just because we're communists doesn't mean anything, okay? All right. So, speaking of crazy science, have you seen this modular body thing? Have you seen this?
Yes, I have actually. I'm sorry, I just pulled up Safari, and on my Safari it says incompatible browser.
Yeah.
You are using either IE or Safari, which is not compatible with this site. Please use another browser.
Yeah, you damn Mac user.
I know. I'm such a foolish person. But
I pulled it up on my Firefox and it did not work well.
It didn't? Oh, those bastards.
So I have seen this before, and this is the little devices that you connect together, and one of them's a heart, and one of them's lungs, and one of them's kidneys. One of them, two of them were arms or appendages.
Yeah,
and so
it's wild.
They have a central brain, and it computes everything. And when you add a module, it figures out what the module is and interacts with it immediately. Yep. So when they plugged the heart into the brain, it started pumping the heart. And when they plugged the lungs into the heart, it saw both of them. It started pumping the heart, but also breathing with the lungs.
So guys, think about Legos with body parts.
Exactly, organic Legos.
It's wild, dude.
Right.
They showed this. I saw this. I actually posted on my timeline on Facebook. If anybody out there follows me on Facebook, they have like almost like a battery pack. Right. Like, is that the best way to explain it, Jojo? Right. It's like a battery pack, right? And then they plugged in the.
But the
lungs?
battery pack has the brain. That's where all the processing.
Okay. So it was like the processor almost, right? And then they took that, plugged in. Lungs.
The heart was first.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. It was the heart. Oh yeah, and then the lungs. And then you saw the lungs expanding and then
contracting.
They were. It was like it was starting to breathe.
Right.
And then they installed a liver.
Right. Or kidneys or whatever.
Kidney or something. I don't know. And then they started attaching these limbs.
Right.
Like these they look like chicken wings. I mean,
there were almost arms, but without hands.
But it was smart enough to know that it needed to go to a surface area that was like 37 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And so it started moving itself using the limb because it knew it could move with its limb, and it started moving towards whatever surface was cool enough for it to survive.
Exactly.
That is
Skynet. That's what it is.
Oh.
Skynet.
Oh, yeah. Terminator motherfuckers.
T100, T1000, T1 whatever. Skynet. This is how it starts.
It's wild.
It's like the little Toyota robot that you can put in your cup holder and make sure you stay awake.
Yeah. Ori, did you have a chance to look at that?
Yes, briefly, but like I said, the website did not like me. The website did not like me, and I think that is probably exactly what would happen if we get these sort of bionic things. They would come for me.
It's a little scary, but also it's really neat. There was a video that I saw on the website. I was kind of screwing around on there today.
It's cool how it works. Definitely.
Yeah, they were talking about how by the end of this year we're going to have science is going to have created. I don't know, science. The corporation that is science.
Right. SpaceX.
Yeah. It will have created a fully functioning liver out of nothing.
Right.
That is interesting. I mean, it creates a lot of interesting questions. We're playing God at this point. This is what we see in all the movies.
Well, yes and no. This is both new and old simultaneously because they've had artificial hearts in people since the 70s, I believe, the mid 70s. So they've had
artificial hearts or
artificial.
like
Artificial heart valves.
Artificial heart valves.
Okay.
Not a full-on heart.
But I thought it was the entire piece, the entire encapsulated device.
I don't know. Scientists,
Really?
you tell us.
Right. But they've been doing that since the mid-'70s. So in individual organs, they were able to reproduce in a synthetic fashion. These ones, though, they're not reliant on the rest of the human body. They have independent nodes or whatever it is that controls them. So
yeah,
when
it's a modular body. So the website is, what is it, Jojo? Let me see. Where is it?
I turned it down.
It's themodularbody.com. Make sure you're running like Firefox or Chrome. Or I actually pulled it up on Chrome.
Oh, okay, that's why.
And by the way, I'm a Mac user, so I instinctively pulled it up in Safari because that's normal. That's what normal people use on a Mac. But I ended up pulling it up on Chrome, and they got a bunch of different websites, or not websites, but actual videos,
Right.
on the website,
Right.
that are really neat. You can kind of see different perspectives on the view that is creating the modular body. They're basically creating these like little organs that literally plug and play with each other,
Right.
with a brain that attaches to one of the functions,
Right.
one of the organs, powers the rest of them. And you can create like a little living being with these synthetic body parts. Like
Right.
that's
Well, I mean, the applications isn't limited to just the synthetic being by itself. You could actually put that in real world where I have as much beer as I drink, maybe I don't have a good liver anymore. So
Right.
then I get a replacement liver, and it can function on its own without the necessity of electrodes or outside stigma. It'll do its own thing.
So can I create a synthetic being that goes and gets me a new beer?
I mean, you can already do that with an R2D2 fridge,
Well,
right?
yeah, but I kind of want to like have some kind of personal relationship with it.
Then by the end of the year, as according to science and or corporations, this might be a thing.
Okay. Ori, so what's your thought on this whole thing?
My prediction, judging by how the rest of the world is going, they are going to upload Tay, the racist Twitter robot, into its brain, and that will be the beginning of the apocalypse.
Good pull. Oh my god.
I was trying not to bring her up. I really was trying not to bring her up.
Believe that? God, that just shows how shitty our society is. Isn't that amazing?
Within a matter of hours, she was racist.
Oh yeah, she was so racist. That's so sad. Isn't that sad? Like something that was supposed to be an innocent social experiment, like something that was supposed to really legitimately help the human race, turned racist.
Right, exactly. Thanks, internet.
Hail Hydra shit. Like this is like straight up Nazi
Someone
shit.
had sent her a picture of a Nazi flag, and she goes, "That's a thing of beauty." It's like there's something wrong with this.
Yeah. Oh, poor girl. Ugh. All right, but anyway, I saw that on my Facebook timeline. This whole modular body thing, not racist robots. I'm talking about.
It's a matter of time.
Let's bring it back. I thought that it was really interesting, so I figured I would bring it up here. If anybody has any thoughts, geek30podcast@gmail.com. Would love to hear your thoughts. But next up in the news, back to comic book news.
Back to comic
because
book.
this is heavy comic book day for us.
Definitely,
I feel.
especially for us.
Can you believe that the Killing Joke got a rated R?
Well,
I love this.
I love this too, but I like the fact that they actually made the movie first, and then it got the
Well, let's be clear. They made the comic first.
Oh, the comic first, but
which in its own right deserves a rated R.
right, exactly. But that's a movie rating as opposed to a comic rating.
Yeah.
They made the movie, and they were true to comic, and they didn't PG it, because a lot of these new action movies are being kind of dumbed down to face a more teenage audience. I love the fact that they made the comic movie first, the animated movie first, and then got the rating. Like they didn't care about what rating they were going to get. They're just going to make the animation true to the source.
Yeah, and there's a great article from Entertainment Weekly. It says, Batman the Killing Joke isn't kidding around. You see what they did? Because the Killing Joke isn't kidding around. It's like a freaking pun. Stupid freaking Entertainment Weekly. All right, Warner Brothers' direct-to-video animated film based on the notorious Alan Moore comic has been rated R. The studio's home entertainment division tells EW exclusively, The Killing Joke marks the first film in the DC Universe original movie franchise to receive an R rating and the second Batman movie to do so. It says, and also they mentioned the extended home video version of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was the first,
Which was also animated.
well,
That one was, right?
no,
No, this is Dawn of Justice, not the
Maybe.
when it came out.
oh, maybe, okay. I was thinking because they're actually making a Blu-ray cut that's rated R of the new one that just came out in theaters.
Well, yeah, definitely. But this is...
Is this are they talking about? Look that up, Jojo. Look that
I
up.
will look that up, actually. Most definitely.
Okay, look it up. While you're doing that, it's starring Kevin Conroy. You know him? You know, he was the voice of Batman in the animated series.
Right. That is the movie.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so it says starring Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, Bruce Wayne, etc. Mark Hamill is coming back as the Joker.
Yay!
That's
Hooray.
huge. Can you? Oh my god. You guys, it makes me so happy. Anyway,
Can't
and Tara
understand.
Strong is Batgirl, aka Barbara Gordon. It says The Killing Joke is an original story that finds the clown prince of crime taunting the Dark Knight by capturing and torturing Batgirl. The original comic was published in 1988 and remains polarizing, with some hailing it as the definitive Joker story and others criticizing it as misogynistic. I've heard nothing but good things about this story. Actually, not spoilers because I'm not going to tell you what happens in the story, but like I've read ahead of what happens in it.
Uh-huh.
I would love to, and I actually will be buying this graphic novel and reading it because it's gotten such great acclaim, and the story is legitimately awesome. Like just to give people perspective, when they say this is the definitive Joker story, this is like the origination of the Joker.
Right.
So have either of you guys read this before?
I have not.
Nope,
Or have you?
not me. No.
No. So what if you guys were to read this and like learn about the origination story of the Joker? Would that be interesting to you guys?
Very.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what do you guys think about this whole? And by the way, FYI, like from what I've read about this, like the whole R-rated thing totally makes sense. There's a lot of violence and effed up stuff that happens in it that totally warrants a rated R rating. But the thing to mention here, like we're talking about a cartoon that's rated R,
Right.
which is also really rare to find in these days. So what's your all's thoughts on that?
Ori?
Oh, I think this is wonderful. I think this is fantastic. I love that there are some studios every once in a while that aren't dumbing it down and kidding it up and making sure that they can sell it to a wider audience and sacrificing the source material as a result. I think that we were incredibly lucky as a film-going audience to get a movie like Deadpool that was willing to break the trend and prove that an R-rated movie can be a commercial success. The fact that was so successful really did prove the concept, and I'm really glad that people are taking this further and giving us the more interesting, more dangerous, edgy kind of movies that is what makes comic books so interesting, really. I mean, you can get comics that range all the way from the kiddie up to the extremely messed up, and it's nice that we're getting things from all over that. I also think that Joker stories in general can't be told unless they are seriously twisted, and that's awesome to me. I'm also, really looking forward to an R-rated cartoon, or rather animated film, particularly in light of the other more edgy animations that we have had in the last couple of years. In my mind, it comes down to basically Archer, if you guys are Archer fans.
Definitely.
How much fun that can be, and how cool it is when you're working in a medium that is traditionally for children, but you're not restricted by those boundaries and by that target audience.
What about
Also
Sausage Party? Did you ever see that trailer? The new Seth Rogen movie coming out?
Nope.
Oh my god. It looks like, so it starts out, dude, you gotta go like YouTube this.
You want me to type sausage
Yes,
potty?
well, in YouTube, okay? Let's be clear. Ori, you know better.
I see
Don't
where
Google
this
that.
is going.
Go into YouTube.
Sausage Party trailer. I think that might help you.
sausage party. Well, oh Jesus Christ! You talk about like a confined orgy. Like
Right.
anyway.
Self-broken sausage party.
Yes,
That doesn't help.
Oh God, none of this is going to turn out well.
Everything is bad.
This is the trailer. It's a new Seth Rogen movie coming out, and it starts out looking like a Pixar movie. It's all 3D animated. It looks beautiful and like fun and happy and kid-like, and then basically it's a story of these hot dogs that are getting bought in the supermarket. And all this other food and stuff getting brought home, and then all of a sudden they get home and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get eaten, yeah!" And then all of a sudden, the potato goes up to the first one to be, quote unquote, eaten, and the lady's sitting there by the sink about to start peeling it, and so she starts peeling it, and then it's like, "Oh my God, it's tearing off my skin! What the fuck?" And it starts screaming.
It's really real. All of a sudden.
So it's an R-rated
Okay.
cartoon.
Okay, this is gonna give you some insight into my childhood. Does anybody remember Cow and Chicken, the
Yes.
Cartoon Network show? Okay, they did this. And I kid you not, the Cow and Chicken musical episode. They put on a school musical called The Ugliest Weenie, in which they all dress up as hot dogs and get roasted, and Chicken is the ugliest weenie, and he is spared the horrible fate. And so the moral of the story is it's good to be ugly after all. And there's a whole song about it, and it's very touching.
My God.
But clearly Seth Rogen has been
Rogen.
watching too much old school Cartoon Network.
That is hilarious. Actually, now that you're saying that, I'm recalling that episode of Cow and Chicken, and it's great.
This is very Family Guy-esque, where Seth Green did all this stuff with Star Wars before Seth MacFarlane did, and they actually joke about that at the end of each of the trilogy movies.
Yeah, that's true. That is funny. Oh man, I love the idea that there's an R-rated comic, or there's an R-rated.
I think it doesn't matter the medium. I think you just
animation,
should just animation or live or on book or photography, videography, it doesn't matter. You should tell the story the way you need to tell a story.
Oh, totally. That's great, and they didn't hold back.
Right.
R-rated, man.
I feel like that's a blessing to us, because some stories should be G-rated, like Toy Story and Pixar and like Monsters Inc. and whatnot. But some things like The Killing Joke don't need to be G-rated. So tell the story first, get the rating later.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That's so true, right? So I can't wait to see when this actually comes out. I'm scrolling through the article here just to see if so the Killing Joke will make its world premiere at Comic-Con International in San Diego during the summer. Release on Blu-ray later in the year. So we've got a lot to look forward to. I can't wait to see that. I just saw Batman v Superman actually in theaters. I was holding back a little bit. I didn't want to go see it immediately. I was a little scared because I heard that it was like kind of
I heard Matt Damon makes an appearance. I'm just teasing you right now. That doesn't actually happen. I'm just trying to be butthead.
Ori, have you seen that movie, by the way?
I haven't seen it yet. I want to go, but I haven't seen it yet.
Going to tell. So there's been a lot of bad reviews about it, and
I did hear.
And we actually talked about it with the folks over at Heroic Aleworks today, because they're obviously big comic book nuts. It's worth seeing.
Definitely.
I would say definitely go see it. The ending, I could see how it pissed people off. Still worth seeing.
I actually wasn't. I kind of wanted to see it, but I need to see Superman Man of Steel first. I wasn't planning to see it in the theaters, but because I actually talked to Heroic Airworks, I think I'm convinced to actually watch it in the theaters before it gets out.
Yeah, I would. Well, yeah, just watch Man of Steel. Yeah. Come on.
No, tonight, I got it. Don't worry, we're good.
Handle it.
I'll catch up.
The other thing about that movie, also, like, okay, people are gonna hate me for this, but Ben Affleck is probably my favorite Batman after watching that.
Wow.
If you listen to the show, I said I think he'll do a good Batman. I don't know that he'll do good Bruce Wayne. So I'm waiting to see.
He's the best Bruce Wayne I've seen.
Yeah, you're just saying that to antagonize me.
I'm literally. He's everything I needed that character to be. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I mean, you take it for what it was. People are still like, Christian Bale is still the best, or
right,
whatever. I don't know, man. I'm really happy with
Christian Bale.
Batfleck.
Didn't necessarily have a lot of depth to his character. He
had a lot of depth, but in a different way than Bruce Wayne, what we normally see him, right?
Right. Well, he had the Batman, he had the Bruce Wayne, and he had a very good playboy kind of billionaire Bruce Wayne, but his Batman was very kind of flat.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised if someone does a better Batman than Christian Bale. But the Bruce Wayne is where I'm worried about.
You know where I loved him. I loved I'm just going to call him Batflick.
Batflick.
Is that all right? Is that okay with everybody? Batflick. I like Batflick more because he had the voice modulator.
Right.
And it wasn't such a force like, I'm Batman.
Which is one of the big things in the comics because he didn't want people to know who he was. So
he has a voice modulator, and they call that out multiple times in the movie.
Okay.
In Batman v Superman,
right.
His voice modulator,
right.
And it's obvious too. But beyond that, his role as Bruce Wayne, the entrepreneur, CEO of Bruce Wayne, or not
Wayne Enterprises.
Wayne, of Wayne Enterprises, just it really hit home with me. I was really happy with it, and I honestly I would really be curious to see what the listeners think about this. Mm-hmm. Seriously, email me geek30podcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on this. Or do you have any, thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't seen the movie, so.
But I mean, just on your favorite, Bruce Wayne, etc.
I'm a sucker for the old stuff. I like the nostalgia. So like the Michael Keaton movies.
Yeah, I see. Everybody
stuff
says
like that.
Michael Keaton.
It was a more innocent time. It was fun. It was what I go to superhero movies for is the fun, and I didn't really get that from the Christopher Nolan movies. I mean, they were great. They were really good. But they just weren't that fun. So I'm hoping, though not terribly optimistic about this, that Batman vs. Superman will be a little more fun. I like fun.
Yeah, it's way more dark. It's not as dark as the Christopher Nolan movies. Mm-hmm. But it just something about his delivery there. And actually, he's Ben Affleck supposedly has written the script and is going to be directing a standalone Batman film.
Which I wouldn't be opposed to because Ben Affleck, I will say, is a phenomenal director.
Yeah.
I do like him as a director.
I do too.
So, and again, I still haven't seen the movie yet, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. What would you think about that, Ori? If he were to actually direct his own Batman film?
I agree. I think he's a talented director, and considering he's already gotten into the character, he'd probably understand the material better than someone who hasn't.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
Well, it's kind of like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was really worried about the Deadpool franchise, and so he took it under his reign and produced it, put money towards it, and make sure that it was a solid movie to come out, as opposed to just some rich executive producer just throwing money at it.
That's a great way to put it.
So when it's a love child, when you put your passion into it, a lot of times the good things happen.
And he seems really invested in the character of Bruce Wayne and such. So
as long as it's not Val Kilmer, I know we make jokes about George Clooney, but I actually hated Val Kilmer as Batman most of all.
But George Clooney had the nipples, right?
Well, his suit had the nipples. Everybody has nipples.
Well, do you have nipples? Wait, do I? Do I? Hold on. Oh shit!
Stop
I do.
flashing me, damn it, Alex.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see.
Ori, consider yourself lucky.
I'm very happy.
I got an eye full of a lot more than I wanted.
A little bit of booby.
I got man booby in my face. But Val Kilmer shouldn't have been there to begin with. George Clooney shouldn't have been there either. But I feel like Val Kilmer in a bad suit wasn't bad, but he just shouldn't have been there altogether. And I felt like after Michael Keaton, they kind of just went left field with it. And I mean, that's unfortunately a lot of times it's just when you throw too much money at it, you don't actually put any common sense behind it, which is what Sony did to kill the Spider-Man franchise multiple times, what they did to kill the Fantastic Four franchise. So if Ben Affleck actually has a passion for the Batman, he wants to make sure that it succeeds, I actually would stand behind that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair way to end that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, kind of moving on, Ori, I would love to get, a little bit more information from you about this new app that you guys released this week. We talked a little bit about it at the top of the show. Can you give just a quick synopsis of Dragon Fruit? What makes you guys different, as compared to kind of the others out there?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so Dragon Fruit is the only dating app for geeks by geeks, and by that I mean that not only is the idea for geeky people to find people, to meet and to be friends with and to hang out with and to hook up with, but it's also coming from a place where we, myself, surely in the last hour or so of conversation, I have proved that we, the team at Dragon Fruit, are all extremely geeky people and therefore get it. I think is pretty much the only way to say so. We understand the experience of, dating as geeks, and we understand what it is that, geeky people tend to care about and want out of a relationship or meeting somebody for the first time, what it is that makes things a little bit harder for people like us to necessarily go out and do the stuff that can maybe come easy to the jocks out there and stuff like that. So on the one hand, Dragon Fruit is great because we've got a great community that we've built around it. We've got wonderful users, and they're all, very geeky people who understand and are in the same kind of situation as everybody else, where we love to talk like we have been talking just now about all the stuff that's going on in our favorite fandoms and our favorite, geekdoms is how we describe it.
There you go.
And we spend our time, playing video games and talking about comic books and movies and going to all these movies and making sure that we're there on opening night and all of that. And that's something that everybody is going to get on some level or another. See, if you're a geek, then you might not geek out over exactly the same stuff, but you would understand the level of passion, and that's already
certainly
a huge gap that's been pre-bridged. And on the other side of it, the technology side, we designed it in order to make that as easy as possible. So you sign up and you define your geekdom, or 3. We've put in a slot for 3. And the system crunches all of the numbers and analyzes what you've put in against all of the other users, and it finds you matches that have the same or similar passions as you do, the same geekdoms or something similar. So it isn't it is of course like one-to-one match thing where if you put in something and somebody else has that, it'll match you up with that person.
Right.
But it also goes further than that, and it sort of analyzes the details of what makes what you are into that thing. So if, for example, we're talking about the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, those are dark, gritty superhero stuff with a lot of moral questions and things like that. It's got all of these interesting characters around it and things like that. So it will not only find you people who are into the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, it'll find you people who are into other Batman movies. It'll find you people who are into various Batman characters like Harley Quinn or like the Joker or the Penguin or Mr. Freeze or whoever you want to do. But it goes even further than that and finds you, people who are into other superhero franchises that have the same grittiness and the same dark themes and all of that stuff. So it really is pretty clever.
And it works. I love that it works like at such a meta level like that. I think it's really cool. And we like to bring folks like Ori on the show who offer this service. And this is this is a free service, you guys. Right?
Yep.
Right, Ori?
Yeah, 100%.
So, folks, go check this out. It's Dragon Fruit, one word, right, Ori?
Yep, Dragon Fruit on the App Store and on Google Play. If you don't have one of those, I'm sorry. If you have a Windows phone, we're not planning anytime soon to develop for that. But hey, there's enough.
If you have a Windows phone, guys, come on.
Leave my Nokia 920 alone.
No, okay, Jojo. Okay.
Yeah, but you can also find us on dragonfruitapp.com, and you can sign up there and use our web version, which is also fully functional.
Yeah, and go use it, guys, and let us know how things are going. Go hit up Ori and his team, and we want to make love happen.
I will actually say that I actually got mentioned by somebody first, which is a weird thing for me. And we've been having a great conversation about all things geek.
Great. Awesome.
Particularly in Star Wars. So it's an amazing platform.
It's awesome. That's so good.
Really glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Let's keep that up, guys. Go support Ori's whole endeavor here. This is a great project that's meant to bring a community together, kind of like what we do here with the Geek 30 Happy Hour. We want to bring people together and help them find their soulmates.
5-star review.
5-star reviews.
5-star review. Well, Alex looked at me intently. It's like soulmates. It's like, well, don't you have one upstairs?
Well, but Jojo, let's be real.
Okay.
Right.
I'm in.
I'm not like awkwardly rubbing his leg while he sits next to me.
I will neither confirm nor deny any allegations.
This just got real
awkward. Real awkward.
I have a barbecue.
Nothing's happening down here, I promise. Shut up, Jojo.
What? I was trying to defend myself.
Well, it's awesome having you on, man. I'm so excited that you guys finally released the app. Ori and I have been talking since, God, man, when did we actually start talking? We started talking like towards the later part of 2015, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a little while.
Yeah, so we've been in contact ever since, and he was telling me about his grand plan for this awesome app, and
it's great seeing how it unfolds in real life.
Yeah, so it's super exciting, and when he, again, like I said at the top of the show, when he messaged me, I was like, God, it makes, like, obviously just to have Ori back on, just to hang out with him, but it'd be so great to talk about this.
Which, Ori, you still need to come down and visit us, by the way.
Yeah, I actually am planning to be in the area in a couple months' time. We're going to be tabling at AwesomeCon in DC in June. So I might make the trip, or if you guys are coming up to DC.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be at AwesomeCon, so you'll likely see me there.
Excellent.
And wherever he goes, I follow. So.
Yeah, Jojo just follows along.
And also, by the way, if anybody is listening in the Boston area or is planning to go to PAX East, we have a panel going next week that'll be discussing love stories in the narrative of various video games and the mechanics of how relationships work in video games. It's going to be really cool. In association with Dr. Nerdlove, he's going to be co-paneling with us. It's going to be a great discussion.
Good stuff. I love it. Yeah, so hit us up if you plan on going to that, or if you plan on going to AwesomeCon here in the DC area. Would love to meet up with you. Feel free to hit us up, geek30podcast@gmail.com. Jojo and I don't bite.
Hard.
Well, hard.
We had that discussion last time.
Yeah. So I think that's a great time to wrap things up, Jojo. So with that, where can people reach us?
So they can reach us via email at geek30podcasts@gmail.com, and 30 is spelled out, geek30podcasts@gmail.com. You can find us at Twitter at geek30, or by calling us and leaving us a voicemail at 443-424-3350. If you have YouTube or Facebook, just search Geek 30 Happy Hour and we'll pop up.
Absolutely. All the good stuff is at www.geek30.com. Ori, where can people reach Dragonfruit?
So we are at dragonfruitapp.com, or on the App Store or on Google Play. You can reach us at PROJ Dragonfruit, Proj Dragonfruit on Twitter, and at Facebook /Project Dragonfruit. And drop us a line and tell us what you think.
There we go.
5-star review.
Yeah, 5-star reviews all around.
Already done.
for Geek 30 Happy Hour and Project Dragonfruit. So thank you to you guys for listening. Thank you to St. Bernardus for this great beer. This is really tasty stuff.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate
I think I actually would pick this up again.
Yeah, I totally would drink this again. So with that in mind, guys, again, thank you to you all for listening. We will see you next time.
thank you so much for nerding out with us, and you never bring two snakes to the same location.
All right, Rory, you want to say bye?
Thank you very much for having me. I hope to be on again soon.
All right, man. See ya.